There really aren't too many tech products that make you feel like you're living in the Jetsons quite like a robot vacuum. And today we're going to take a look at what I think is one of the most technologically advanced ones that you can grab on Amazon right now. What's up everybody? Welcome to the Phase Reviews YouTube channel. My name is Jordan, and if you are new here, thank you for joining me, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back. Today on the review table I have the ZOOZEE Z70, a robot vacuum cleaner that has a lot of awesome features and it really is one of the most up-to-date and high-tech robot vacuums on the market right now. And in this video, I'm gonna unbox this for you, show everything that comes in this. I'll do a quick run through of how you get it set up and running. I'm gonna test it myself for a week or two and then let you know my thoughts as to whether or not it's worth picking one of these up for yourself. Now, if you're new here, I would love to have you become a subscriber, hopefully by the end of this video, and leave a comment if this is a product that you're interested in, that you own, or if there's something else that you wanna see. But enough chit chat, let's take a look at the ZOOZEE Z70. So like I mentioned at the beginning, these kinds of products, totally unnecessary, but totally cool to own and can make our life a little bit easier. Roomba is the name everyone knows when it comes to robot vacuums, but just like any tech product, as time has gone on, there have been a whole slew of new brands and options available, especially on Amazon, at significantly reduced prices. Now, this is one of the more high-end options, one of the more expensive ones, but it still comes in at a price that, if it's important to you, you can probably afford. Now, this one in particular, what makes this different from all of the other robot vacuum cleaners? I'm gonna read you guys a few specs, some things that ZOOZEE really is trying to make people aware of. First and foremost, this is, according to them, the first robot vacuum that can work with 5G home Wi-Fi. So most smart home products work with the 2.4 gigahertz home Wi-Fi. This can work with the 5G, which is a faster Wi-Fi, and it's what I try and run all of my devices on that can use it. So that's a big thing. I don't know if 5G gives you more distance, but it definitely is a faster internet from what I know. This also has a 5200 milliamp hour battery life, which will give you, let me read, 240 minutes of runtime, up to 300 square meters of cleaning at a time, which is a ton of space. It also has 28 sensors and LiDAR. I'm not sure what LiDAR is, but you'll see this little spinning thing on top here. I'll show you in a minute. With a scanning radius of 8 meters, so covers a really large distance, which means it can keep an eye out for couches, pets, stairs, railings, whatever. It automatically will charge. It'll go back to its home base and make sure that it's fully charged when it needs to be. It will adjust the suction. This is what I thought was awesome. It will adjust the suction based on the surface that it's on. So if it's on tile, it will suck less. If it goes up onto carpet, it will increase the suction to pull things up out of the fibers of the carpet, which is really neat. It's aware of what kind of surface it's on. And lastly, this has the ability to wet mop as well as dry mop, as well as dry vacuum. So if you need to mop your floor in your kitchen, this will do that with a water tank, which is really cool. So enough chat about features. Let's open this puppy up. It comes in a nice cardboard box, nothing flashy, but it is very solid and it's pretty heavy. You know, this is not a lightweight product. Let me open this up. Open this tab right here. It's got a carrying handle on top. Lay that down. All right. And then first things first, when you open it up, you've got this little packet right here, which is going to be your user manual, quick start guide, warranty card, all the instructions for how to get this set up. And we'll take a look at that in a minute. Up at the top of the box is a thinner cardboard section, and when we open that up, it says it contains charging dock and dustbin. And this really isn't that big for those two things, which means that this is hopefully compact and not going to take up a lot of space in your house. This appears to be the charging dock. Let me pull the plastic off there. You've got these two bars, and then that's just going to set, I imagine, up against your wall like that. It doesn't have a ramp that it has to go up on, which is nice. I know that's a problem for some people, like the vacuum gets stuck or won't go up the ramp. This is very sleek and slim. That could probably sit right up against a wall for the vacuum to charge. Now, I know in the manual, I skimmed through it before, there is like a radius of distance you need to keep on each side so that the vacuum can make it up to this, but this is pretty compact. I like that. Also in this box is the dustbin. Okay, so that's what's going to store all of the things that your vacuum sucks up. It has a little filter right there, and this slots into the top, so changing out or emptying the dustbin is a fairly easy process. You don't have to like unscrew things or get up underneath the vacuum. It's very convenient and accessible on the top. So that's that container. I'm going to pull off this cover right here, and don't throw this away because on the back there is information on how to put the wet mop in, as well as, I believe, the wet mop container itself. Yeah, right here. Okay, so this is the wet mop attachment. You've got some pads. These are almost kind of like Swiffer pads, like a microfiber right here. So this is what you're going to attach if you want to do a wet mop instead of just a vacuum. So we'll keep those handy. And I think that's the last in this section. Okay, I'm going to set that on the ground. And then underneath that, okay, we've got one more cardboard box. Let me show you. There's the vacuum itself. And then this was another one of the packing pieces. And this has the charging adapter, okay? Power adapter right there, standard AC to DC converter block. Set that over here, set our charging base and our dustbin over there. And then now for the most important part of the package, which is very hefty, this is the robot vacuum itself. I think this is a pretty standard size and it has a really good looking finish. It has this kind of sunburst ray pattern, this like glossy finish. Now I have a toddler or soon to be toddler, so I know this is going to get touched and it's not going to look pretty for long, but if you're living the bachelor life, that'll probably stay looking nice for a while. On the front, let me just hold that up. Ooh, this is heavy. You've got your home button and a power button. We'll talk about features in a little bit. And then this little tower right there, that is the LiDAR. There's something in there that spins around, a laser or something that's scanning to make sure that this is not colliding with other objects. Let me pull that off. Okay, and on the back of the vacuum, you can see those two metal bars. That's for your charging base. That's just going to back up into that to charge. There's a couple of ports for fans. What else we got? Two big, beefy rubber wheels that kind of recess down in there. Oh yeah, those are nice. You've got your brush right here that rotates. It's also got some rubber fins here. And then there are attachments on this front part for the pickup brushes. Let's see if I can get those. Those are in this bottom piece down here. Let me grab those. Okay, so set the vacuum right there. So at the very bottom of the box, we have the pickup brushes. And they come with, oh, I just dropped some. It comes with 4. So let me just pull them all out. I'm making an absolute mess here. Okay, here we are. Okay, so you get 4 of these. These are the pickup brushes, all right? And these slot into the bottom 2 at the front of the robot, and these will just sweep, they'll spin and pull debris from the edges of the vacuum, kind of push them in front of the vacuum's path. So they included an extra set of these. You know, I guess if one gets caught or something and torn up, they're pretty simple, but I like that there's extras, you know, can't complain about that. So I'm going to pull all of this out. This is a ton of packaging and a ton of this. Even this cardboard box is heavy. I mean, the quality is there as far as packing this product. Please remove this before using the robot. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so you can fold this up. See, I'm discovering this as we go. Okay, so underneath here, we've got this rubber piece that said we need to pull out. Oh, they also include, this is cool, stored in here is a little blade to remove, I'm guessing, hair from the roller brush, as well as a little brush to clean out the crevices, you know, and the extra dirt from the dustbin, I imagine. That's always nice to see, something like that. I'm gonna slide that back in. Oh, and that magnetically attaches right there. So that's great. Okay, so inside of here, it tells you a little bit about the functions of the robot. A short press of the home button takes the robot back home. Pretty self-explanatory, pauses the program. And a long press does a spot cleaning. We'll learn more about that later. Press and hold the home button and the power button 3 seconds to reset the Wi-Fi. And then a short press of the power button starts cleaning and pauses cleaning, and then a long press switches the robot on and off. And there is a tiny little reset button right down at the bottom below those 2 function buttons. Okay, above that we've got what I imagine is the dustbin. Okay, there's the dustbin right there, and I think this is, I would imagine this is the dry dustbin being in here first. Actually, no, I think I'm lying. No, this is the wet. And so this one has kind of a smoky, darker appearance to it. It's still translucent, but it's darker. And I can tell this is the water because it has a water spout. That little rubber gasket right there has an icon for a faucet on it. You just pull that up and you can fill this with water for the wet clean, I imagine. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so that was a live unboxing. You kind of saw me see what comes in this package as we did it. Unpacking that is pretty straightforward. All of the instructions for how to run this vacuum are going to be in this little packet that we received earlier. So let's take a look at that. So we've got a little warranty card, and then a quick start guide. You've got a QR code for the app this vacuum uses, as well as quick start instructions for how to connect the Wi-Fi. Press and hold the power switch for 3 seconds so it starts looking for a network. Turn on your Bluetooth on the phone and connect it to turn on your Wi-Fi and connect it to the Wi-Fi of the robot. And then this is going to be similar to setting up any smart home product, like a smart bulb or whatever. If you've used like the Amazon Alexa thing before, it's the same. And then you connect to the app. Once you're connected to the Wi-Fi's from the robot, it connects to your home Wi-Fi, the whole thing, okay? And then it shows you how to set up the charging base against the wall, install the side brushes, where to put the charging dock. Everything is literally on just this tiny sheet. Now, if you want the more in-depth, frequently asked questions, troubleshooting, as well as how to set up the wet mop function, that's in this guide, okay? I can't run through every bit of setup in this video. It would be way too long, but I am going to get this set up and I'm going to use this for the next few days. So the next time we cut, you're going to see me talking about my experience with the product. I'm going to overlay some shots of it working, how this robot vacuum works, and I will give you my thoughts onto whether or not this is worth picking up. All right, so it's been about a week and a half since we got this robot vacuum, and let me tell you, me and my wife have absolutely loved it. It has functioned flawlessly since the day we got it. It was very easy to set up. Just like any other smart home product, you're just going to download the app, connect to the vacuum's internal Wi-Fi, make sure your Bluetooth is on, you'll select your home network, and you can use 5G, like I mentioned, which is one of the features of this vacuum. You connect the robot to the network and you're good to go. Now, one of the mistakes I made when I first started trying to clean with this is I didn't connect it to the base unit prior to starting a clean, and you have to make sure that your vacuum starts from being connected to the charging wall unit. If you don't, it won't have a home to go back to. So it'll clean just fine, but it doesn't really know where to end up at the end of cleaning. And so make sure that you put your charging unit down, get your vacuum hooked up to it and charging before you start a cleaning program. That way it knows where the base is. And speaking of the charging unit, another thing that I realized is that the unit should probably be on a tile or a wood or a hard surface. If you do it on the carpet, the vacuum kind of sinks into the carpet and the charging bars won't line up with the wall unit. So when I stuck it on tile, it can back up into it no problem and they're at the correct level. If it was on carpet, they didn't quite line up. That's kind of a design flaw in my opinion. Maybe they could make those bars a little bit bigger, but putting it in our kitchen on the tile solved that issue for us. It didn't place as neatly as on the carpet, but what do you do? When it comes to cleaning, it's very quick and efficient. It does our entire living room, sitting area, and kitchen in about 30 minutes or so, which I think is pretty good, especially when you consider that it's only this big. How it works is it will draw out the perimeter of your room using the radar or LiDAR to scan the walls and create a little diagram on the app. And once it's gone around the perimeter of the room, it will start doing back and forth motions. And sometimes those aren't very efficient, but all in all, it makes sure that it does not miss any spots. And it has worked so well. The dustbin, after 4 or 5, I could see that it was starting to get a lot of gunk in it. Really, I probably could have done a few more cleans without it. Emptying it out every 1 or 2 times probably will keep the unit functioning very well. I like the app. I'm not going to go through all of the features and settings on here, but things that I really like are the fact that you can draw out a region to vacuum on the app. You don't have to vacuum your entire house floor plan at once. I can just, for example, at the end of every night, draw out a square on our kitchen and just sweep the kitchen, which is so nice. That's a task that we hate doing. We were not very good about it before, and now the vacuum can just sweep our kitchen at the end of every day, and it feels great. Now, speaking of the kitchen, I also tried the wet mopping feature, which was very easy to use. You just take the wet mopping kind of microfiber cloth attachment, you get it wet, wring it out, slide it onto the back of the robot, and then you just swap out the dustbin for the water tank, which also has a built-in dustpan. So you don't need to run a dry vacuum before you wet mop. It will actually vacuum as it goes, and then the back of the robot will wet mop, which is so cool. So you just fill it up with water, plug it in, and just run it like usual. When you're finished, just make sure to swap the tanks back out for the dry vacuum tank and empty out the water so it doesn't, get moldy or stale inside of there. All in all, this thing is fantastic. It integrates well with your smart home if you need it to. You can also schedule it to vacuum at night if you want to, or at a certain hour every other day or every week or every night. You can set it to not speak, because the vacuum will like tell you what it's doing, like going back to the home base or starting to clean. You can turn that off, so if it's nighttime, you don't want to wake up your kids, you don't have to have it speak to you, which is awesome. As far as power settings, the vacuum has 4 when it comes to suction. I just use the normal, which is the second from the lowest, and it works perfectly fine. The floors feel clean, it leaves nice lines on the carpet, and it's quiet enough that I can use it while my daughter sleeps and it does not wake her up. As far as cons to this unit, I haven't really had any. I told you about the base and the charging. That's something that I think could maybe be improved in future versions, but when it comes to the actual vacuuming of the unit, it functions flawlessly, and I haven't had any issues. It connects to my phone every time I turn it on, no issues with the Wi-Fi, and you know, apart from making sure that it's connected to the base when you first set it up, it really is super easy to use. So even if you're someone like us, like my wife who loves to vacuum, she's really grateful we have this, even if it's just for sweeping the kitchen every night and doing a wet mop once a week or something like that. And if you are, you know, if I was living by myself, this would definitely be my only vacuum. It would just run, you know, every night, do its thing by itself. You really don't even have to put any hands on this unless you want to empty out the dustbin every couple of days. Other than that, it works perfectly. So if you want to grab one of these for yourself, I highly recommend it. You can grab one down at the link in the description. You can buy through there and support the channel. I would love you for it. And if you're not looking to buy a robot vacuum quite yet, at least become a subscriber. Hopefully you like this review and you want to see more in the future. Every kind of tech product, productivity product, I'll review it on this channel if it's something that I think I'm gonna like. So hit the like button on this video, leave a comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.